Hi everyone, myself Keertika, Assistant Professor at Department of Management Studies of K.S.Rangasamy College of Technology, Tirchangood. In this video, we are going to discuss about competency mapping. Competency mapping is the process of determining the skills, behaviors, abilities and knowledge a job title requires. Organizations often begin this process by determining their goals and analyzing the abilities of their existing employees. At first, let us start with what is meant by competency mapping. Competency mapping is defined as the process of identifying the specific skills, abilities, knowledge, and behaviors that are required to operate effectively and efficiently in a specific job or organization. This competency mapping can identify key attributes and help in higher productivity. Likewise, this competency mapping can be also used to identify one's, which means individual's strength and weakness. Next, we shall discuss about the objectives of competency mapping. The first objective is to identify the key success factors. By identifying one's strength, we can define the success factor. So, next is pinpointing triggers for each role. When someone's strength is identified, we can trigger that point and we can motivate them to work more. Next is laying direction for superior performance. When one's strength or weaknesses has been identified, we can give them a right path to improve their superior performance. Okay. The next is serving means for communicating performance expectations. Based on this competency mapping, we can identify the person's performance rate. So it serves as a means of communicating the performance expectation to the particular people. Next is providing opportunities for development. When one's performance is being identified by this competency mapping, it provides an opportunity for their further career development also. Next is creating a more empowered workforce. When the people's skills are evaluated or knowledge are evaluated, it helps the company to create more empowered workforce. Next is employing the workforce effectively. By identifying the key skills and key knowledge of the people, the company can effectively manage the workforce who work in the company. Now let us discuss about the process of competency mapping. The first step is job analysis. For identifying the key skills and knowledge, first thing we have to do is job analysis. We have to find what are the right skills and knowledge which are required to perform the job effectively. So the first step is job analysis. Next is competency based job description. After doing job analysis, we have to write job description, that to competency based, which means the employee who have these kind of skills, the employee who have this kind of knowledge, the employee who have this kind of attitude. So these kind of job description should be written based on this job analysis. Okay. Next is identifying minimum required level of competencies for performing the job. What is the level of minimum required competencies which is required, that too has to be mentioned. Next is assessment. Based on this requirements, and employees efficiency or employees performance have to be measured. So by that we can find the strength or weakness of the employee. Okay. So in this assessment we can find the skill and knowledge level that an employee have. So from that we can identify that whether the employee is up to the mark, which means he is having the level of competency which has been required, or he does not possess the level of competency that has been established in standards. Okay. Next is development plan. Based on the assessment we have done, we have to develop a plan for an employee. Okay. When an employee lacks in particular skill or knowledge, we have to plan a training program for them. So we have to plan a development program for them to increase their level of competence. Now let us discuss about various applications of competency mapping. This competency mapping process is applied in various fields of HR. Like it has been mentioned here, it is used in process of HR planning, job analysis, recruitment and selection, placement, performance management, training and development, succession planning and reward management. First, let us discuss about HR planning. HR planning is all about forecasting the demand and supply of the manpower in an organization. Okay. So in this process, we will be applying competency mapping to find out what are the vacancies we have in a company. Okay. So next is job analysis. As we discussed earlier in the process of competency mapping, For writing the job description and job specification, this competency mapping process is used. We will be mentioning the skills and knowledge requirements in the job description and job specification, right? For all those requirements, this competency mapping has to be done. Next is recruitment and selection. While recruiting a person, we should look the unique skills and abilities that a person have. Okay, so that unique skills and abilities will be measured by the means of competency mapping. These competencies can be used to construct a template for use in recruitment and selection. Information on the level of competency required for effective performance would be used to determine the competence levels that new hires should possess. This results in hiring of an employee who is organizational as well as a role fit. So this is the role of competency mapping in recruitment and selection. Next is placement. A firm should know how to access the competencies of an employee and how it can effectively manage and hire or place the employee at a best reasonable place. Okay, so based on the skill and knowledge of an employee, we will be offering him a job role. So for this also competency mapping is being used. Next is performance management. This competency based performance management would focus on how of the performance and not on what of the performance, that is not on the results but how the results were achieved. The effective performance management system should provide link to the development of individual and not just to the rewards. Next field is training and development. This training and development involves identifying the gap between competencies required for the position and those possessed by the employee. Any such gap is bridged by providing training to the incumbent for their particular competences only. Next is succession planning. Succession planning is a process and strategy for replacement planning or passing on leadership roles. It is used to identify and develop new potential leaders who can move into leadership roles when they become vacant. So, for identifying the right skills to be a leader of a company, this competency mapping can be used. Next is reward management. Usually in all companies we will be giving reward for employees, like giving motivation factors like rewards, awards and all kind of that, right? So by this competency mapping process, by evaluating the skills and knowledge of the employee, those who have unique ability, those who are best in showing up their skills and knowledge can be rewarded with their monetary benefits and non-monetary benefits. So for doing this work also competency mapping is needed. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.